All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. It is right now 10:30, and we have the Town of Dudley's Economic Development Committee meeting. We're going to start by the call to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a great holiday. First item up on the agenda is the continued discussion of the LRRP plan and the review, and any comments on the draft funding assistance report. Bill was kind enough, I don't know if everybody's had the opportunity to read through. It was about 39 pages, but Bill was kind enough to print out the last number of pages, which goes into summary of what we're looking to do. There were two main categories: activation of storefronts, vacant lots, as well as the gateway. And in here, it also states a number of different sources, funding sources. And this is coming from the Commonwealth in regards to grants. It outlines the different purposes and goals, eligible use of funds, who's eligible to apply for it, the actual terms of the loans. I don't know if anybody has anything up for discussion, if anybody had any comments on any of this information. Bill, I know you probably have this memorized by now.
So you may recall we had a discussion of all of the action items in the LRRP plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to go with two. Those were to activate the vacant storefronts and lots. And the second one was to work on the gateway areas of the town.
Right.
So as part of the program, they provide us this additional technical assistance document, which helps us to identify strategies going forward on each of those two main areas of interest for the committee. And I think what we could discuss today is for each of those programs, those action items, which program would make the most sense for us to apply for. So, for example, in the handout that we have, Project 1 was activate vacant lots and storefronts. And then pages 22 and 23 are taken from the LRRP report.
Mm-hmm.
On page 23, sort of at in the middle of the page, the action item, 1, build a database of vacancies that include address, square footage, ownership, triple net rate, lease rate, and contact information. 2nd, work with local realtor to collect important data for the space, traffic counts, length of time abutting space has been in business, what the property owner will pay for and what they won't. 3rd, once the database is built, share on social media so people are aware of the available space. Add possible uses for the space. 4th, brainstorm possible programming that could take place while the storefronts are still vacant. Next, contact local artists that may be interested in displaying artwork. And finally, work with the town clerk's office to make sure the town is as business-friendly as it could possibly be. Starting a business is risky and stressful, and the more patient the person is on the other side of this question, the better for the potential entrepreneur. So then, on page 24, they list 3 potential programs: the Mass Downtown Initiative, the Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program, and the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center Network. So in thinking about applying for these programs, they have a sort of a grant program strategy. Mm-hmm. So for the MDI program, the strategy would be to determine the most relevant focus of project idea. Is a traffic, parking, or wayfinding study for inclusion in the application. For the Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program, the strategy would be to identify a nonprofit organization to work with to facilitate matching local businesses with assistance. And the third, for the Small Business Development Center network, is to create a database on local businesses and their technical needs. So, and then the next couple of pages go into sort of a summary of what those programs are all about. So I think, you know, sort of just sticking with page 24, those are the three programs that we could look at. So if you felt like you really wanted to do sort of an overall comprehensive study for the vacant lots, the Mass Development Initiative, Downtown Initiative would be the way to go. If you thought that the way to go would be to work with other nonprofit organizations like the Chamber of Commerce or the Business Alliance, we might focus in on that second program. And then if you really wanted to just create a database of local businesses and their technical needs, then that Small Business Development Center program would make sense.
Okay.
So before we go to the next program, why don't we just talk about this vacant lots and
Sure.
storefronts idea and get your thoughts in terms of what, really what you think the need is, and then we can sort of match what we want to accomplish with the particular program that they've recommended.
Okay. I mean, I think it's spelled out pretty clearly, right? So we have two different, so the activate vacant lots and storefronts. So we've got these three different initiatives to choose from.
Mhm.
We can only choose one.
Well, no, we could do more than one,
Okay.
but we have limited capacity,
Okay.
you know, so
Sure.
we have to take that into account. But and that depends how much work you folks want to do. If you want to take the lead on a program, you know, that would be very helpful in terms of reaching out to the state agency to talk to them about what we're thinking about doing and getting some feedback from them in terms of whether they think our idea would be a good fit for their program. You know, that would be a useful activity for a member to take on.
Okay.
So I'm curious just to hear what you're thinking about. You know, the second one requires collaboration with another business organization that serves Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Mark, for example, is on, I think, both boards. And I know others of you are on different entities. So if we went for the second program, for example, it would be mostly to work with them and let them sort of take the lead in terms of reaching out to local businesses and the property owners that have vacant spaces and trying to match up interested businesses with the vacant lots and storefronts.
Interesting.
If you wanted to go with sort of more of a data collection task, which is to hire a consultant who would then collect the data for the vacant lots and storefronts, and I think develop an approach for marketing and identifying strategies to help fill those spaces. Maybe the Mass Downtown Initiative would make sense.
Interesting.
So, you know, some of these are going to come naturally anyway, and I think that the focus that, we should put on them is where we can access resources. So, like that second one, so grants, I shouldn't say are always, but are usually always available. There are a number of grants right now that are available to small businesses in the town of Dudley and Webster, and we may not even know about them. So we didn't take any action on them. We didn't force them to happen, but they're here. So it's businesses in Dudley that are interested in expanding their businesses. There's a grant program for it right now in Webster as well. So, for us to use our efforts and energy, to try to drive something like that's already being driven by some of these other groups, I think our time would be better spent on, some of the others where it would need our help and determination to make it happen. So, just my comments.
And that's like, Mark, you had said, like, that's working with like the Webster Dudley
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah,
of
Webster
Commerce.
Dudley Business Alliance
Business
has,
Alliance.
this is the grant program that, that they have, but there's a number of them that the Chamber of Commerce is using as well. And we can get, names for all of them, but, yeah.
Do they have capacity, Mark, to do the kind of work that we think is necessary, or would applying for a grant program to fund them to do that kind of work, would that make sense?
Yeah, what it comes down to is participation. So they earmark a lot of money, but not many people step
Sign
up
up for
and
it.
take it.
Yeah.
They just don't, for whatever reason, my business is bad, but I'm so busy that I can't apply for a grant.
Right.
It's one of those deals that they don't know when to get out of their own way, so to speak. And I own a business, so I'm not speaking poorly about any business owners, but, it's, yeah, you can get caught up in, your day-to-day, but you're missing something that's sitting right in front of you. So, yeah, the state could provide this huge amount of money, but they offer it and likely probably only end up giving up 25 or 30% of it, So, yeah, there's probably quite a bit that's available just by virtue of nobody applying for it or taking it.
And Mark, are you saying that it's not because the small businesses they are aware of it, and they just don't want to do it, or they just don't find time in their schedule, or is it that it's not well advertised?
As I say, there's well advertised, right?
Yeah. So there were two that I can think of. One was a COVID initiative, and it has your business been affected by COVID, and if so, tell us how, and we have money available to help you get back on your feet. And so that was one of them. And the other one is, has your business done okay through this pandemic and whatnot? And are you looking to maybe expand? And if you are, tell us what that's all about, and we'll tell you what amount of money is available. And, each one of those has a pocket of money that's available to be accessed. But again, some of these business owners, and again, in their defense, have been dealing with all kinds of things from, town saying you have to put signs up for this and you can't open at this time and you can't do this and you can't do that. So they're dealing with all of those things, and to ever even think of trying to put the paperwork together to get this grant is just beyond my scope, So, but it's really
Would John
not
from the
that
Chamber of
hard.
Commerce have all this information? John Milas? He would have all that information?
Yeah, the chamber has that,
Yeah.
and certainly so Lucas Perzan is the president of the Webster Dudley Business Alliance. Deb Horan was the founder, Book Lovers Gourmet, so you may know her, and she's a wealth of information. But yeah, typically, I can gather the information for you. There's grant paperwork that's available now. In fact, I think an email had gone out, so we can certainly get that link and regenerate it. And
Did it just go out to the members of the Chamber of Commerce is what I'm trying to,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
we do like a link in collaboration with the Chamber and post it on social media through like the EDC's postings and say,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
what's
that's
out
kind
there,
of-
here's 4, possible grants or something like that, because,
That's the kind of idea that you could apply for funding
Yeah.
to do that kind of work.
yeah.
So
yeah, I
that's-
think it might even be on the town websites. I think that there's a link to those grants. I think if you
Yeah.
go to the Dudley website,
Yeah.
there's likely a grant tab, and I haven't been there, but anyway, you
could
can
link
click
that
on
to
it, and
other-
it'll show you
Yeah.
all the
Right.
initiatives that are
Yeah, yeah.
available, or the grants opportunities.
I just look at more people look at social media than the town website.
Yeah, I
So you
agree.
might be able to reach,
Right.
because
Totally
Bill
agree.
might own a laundromat down the street and not
Yeah.
realize he could possibly get $25,000 because he doesn't,
Right.
Yeah.
he wasn't tagged in an email or,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but checks Facebook every hour.
Right.
So,
And the funding that we could potentially get from this grant through the small business this would be the Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program we're talking about. That would help us with any type of funds, like this wouldn't necessarily be monies that could go to the small businesses. That would just help us accomplish what John was
Yeah.
trying to say. Is that
That's
right?
right.
Is
Yeah.
that- my guess is there's certain, like, I don't know if there's any ways that they check to see how the funds are actually being used? Or do they just give us like a lump, would they give us a lump sum of money and then we would have to manage it ourselves?
Well, I think a lot of it is hiring consultants.
Okay.
We would apply for a specific project, and then they would
Okay.
give us a grant that we would then use to hire somebody to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think myself personally, based on what Mark had said and what John had said, I would be in favor of using or applying in regards to activating, our priority one, activating the vacant lots and storefronts, going with the number 2.
Mhm.
I don't know what anybody else thoughts are, other members of the committee? Okay. That, we would need to vote on that then?
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Could
Before you do that, just, if we go to,
We're just prioritizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you go to page 29, so I think the strategy is, I'm looking for funding program number 2 on the right-hand column, and if you go down 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
4, 5 rows.
Mhm.
So in early spring is identify local nonprofit organizations to work with to submit this application. And then below that, late spring, if organization is identified, work with them to identify local qualifying businesses to engage and prepare to apply. And then next to last, as part of the application, help applicants prepare application materials, presenting a narrative of the challenges COVID has played in their businesses and how it affects the local economy. So that's kind of the game plan for funding program number 2.
Okay.
So I think what we would want to do is reach out to the program to discuss our thoughts, as we talked about here.
Okay.
See whether they think that's fundable under their program, and then they can guide us in terms of developing, the timelines and moving forward with the application.
Okay.
So does that kind of,
Yeah, so we
Makes
would need
sense
to
for that
reach out to our contacts at the local chamber and things, folks that we would want to partner with, and see if they're interested in doing that with us.
right, that's a good point,
Yeah.
right, if they're not interested, then,
I mean, I'll call
know.
John, if you think that's a good contact to start with. I can call John over at the Chamber of Commerce.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's just, would there be any reason why they wouldn't want to join,
I can't think of one, but
Right.
we
Yeah.
It
certainly.
would look better for them if they showed that they allocated 100% of the potential money out there rather than 25.
well, right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But it's more than just being sort of a passive, yeah, go for it. We need their active participation.
Active
Right, yeah,
participation.
right.
Whether they're willing to do that is another question, so
Mhm.
that's what we need.
Yeah. Bill, do you know, have you spoken with any of your counterparts, let's say in Webster or any of the other surrounding towns
No.
that are doing any similar kind of things?
No, I haven't.
'Cause I didn't
But
know-
I'm sure Carrie is
Okay.
in contact with.
Okay.
with
Because, would there be
those
any
folks.
reason why, let's say, the Webster Dudley Chamber they could work in conjunction with both
Mhm.
towns, right?
Well, I think that would be very helpful, yeah,
Right.
to sort of coordinate with Webster on this, and through the chamber organizations,
Hmm,
that's part of their mission too, so.
right,
um,
okay.
Yeah, the Webster EDC is very active as well.
Mhm.
Very,
Mhm.
Okay.
a lot of initiatives in place right now.
All right, so would you say that we do need to vote on
Yeah,
this?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Gives
so-
us some more relevance.
So to give it a little bit more relevance, after, what we've just discussed, could I have a motion to move forward with, for the first project, activate vacant lots and storefronts, make a motion to continue with the Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program, and to reach out to the local nonprofits to see if they are willing to work with us on this. I entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to move forward with the Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program and reach out to the local Chamber of Commerce and Webster Business Alliance and try to identify the nonprofit organization to work with to facilitate local businesses with assistance.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay.
So, just to clarify, who's gonna do what, John? You
I'll
gonna-
reach out to John today and see if we can, I mean, do you want me to set up a meeting with us, with you and I and him, or how do you want to do this?
Sure, if you want, why don't
You
you
know-
reach out to him,
Okay.
do an initial,
Yeah.
feel, if they're willing, and then we could do a Zoom meeting or
Sure,
something if you want
exactly.
to.
Okay.
And who is he with?
John Milas, he's with the Webster Dudley Chamber of Commerce,
He's
or
with the
Webster
Webster
Oxford Chamber of Commerce. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mark, were you gonna contact the Business Alliance, or?
Yeah, I can reach out to, yeah, I'm on that board, so I'll mention it to the group.
Okay, I mean, if they're both interested, we could work with both of them.
Right,
It doesn't have to
100%,
be an either
right.
or.
Right.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. And then if
Okay.
you guys set up a Zoom meeting, I'd like to be part of
Mhm.
that
Okay.
if possible.
okay.
Okay.
You know, I'm thinking if we wait until the next meeting, that we lose a month.
Right,
We
yeah,
do.
100%.
If we can do
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
something in
yeah,
between.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
I still think we should tackle this, the vacant lot thing, right? Is that this, what is it, traffic study and parking? I mean, I have a very recent traffic study
Right.
for Main Street I could supply to the town, if you would like, or you
Which
probably
one?
have a copy.
Which, was that for the Chase?
Hall Road,
Oh, for Hall Road.
yep, which
I
they
don't
did
think
all of
I-
Main Street.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that'll come in as part of your
Yeah.
application when
But
you're ready to do
I could
that.
submit it sooner than later to help,
Okay,
you know.
sure. So you're thinking then maybe a dual approach of going after the Downtown Initiative Program to help work on the storefronts?
I think so. I think that's also a big
Yeah, I
push,
know
right?
that was one of the, when I went out and met with a handful of
Right.
business
Businesses.
owners, that
Yeah.
was one of their first complaints or issues that they brought up was, how fast traffic was going. Is there any way to slow things down, to get people to notice that they're there? So, I do agree with John that that's something if we could
Mhm.
add on as well, I guess,
Okay.
because I think that would be a huge benefit. I mean, I think just listening to the business owners themselves, and if that was, granted, I think it was only a handful, but my guess is, if we're looking at that corridor, then it is, it's just, we've
Mhm.
got to figure out a way to address that situation.
Mhm. So then you're thinking we should reach out to the Mass Downtown Initiative to see if they would be willing to fund some kind of a analysis of the vacant lots?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
So now we're choosing two of them, right? Instead of
Right.
just, okay.
Right. It's doubling your work, but
Okay,
I'm
doubling
happy-
our work.
Right, yeah, it's
if
better,
you-
I think.
If you want to do it, then we'll do it.
Okay. All right, we can do that. Would we need to vote on that as well?
Yeah.
All right, so as John Andrulevich has brought up, he would also believe that we should also add to the initiative of the activating vacant lots and storefronts, not only the Small Business Technical Assistant Grant Program, but the Massachusetts Downtown Initiative. Could I entertain a motion from the committee?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the Massachusetts Downtown Initiative to do look for funding to go over the traffic, parking, vacant lots.
Okay. Second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, let's have it.
Like you said, Bill, that'll just supply us with funding that allows us to get more data back, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And now from there, once we receive that data, we can look for other grants to pick projects within that.
Well, I think under the Downtown Initiative Program, there would be a couple of phases. The first phase would be the data collection, and then the consultant would sort of analyze that data and come back to us and say, here's the current situation, these are the issues and problems, and here are my recommendations to try to fill those. So it's more of a comprehensive plan as
Mhm.
opposed to just a data collection.
Yeah.
And then we would take that information and then go to the state and apply for further funding.
Well, in a way, I think there's only so much study you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
So after that report is done, I think it's up to the committee to implement,
Okay.
and say, okay, here are the recommendations. If some of that requires physical improvements, then obviously town needs to apply
Yep.
Right.
for, infrastructure funding or whatever.
I see.
Um,
So it's more of, we we get the grant for the money to have the study done, and then we take that information and we bring it to the town and say, hey, listen, we've done our due diligence. This is what we recommend as the members of the Economic Development Committee to
Right.
help. Okay,
Yep.
I understand now. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay.
Anybody else on that, on project number 1? No? Project number 2, consider gateway improvements.
So pages 31 and 32 are taken from the LRRP report. On page 32, sort of the process description says, this project will likely occur in 2 phases. Phase 1 could include the landscaping elements, such as hanging planters or island landscaping at both study area gateways. Phase 2 would include adding additional wayfinding and signage to orient visitors when they arrive to the area. However, this phase would benefit from the vision and design guidelines created in the marketing and branding campaign included in another project. The town may wish to wait until the completion of the marketing campaign before initiating phase 2. So here they've identified 3 programs. Again, the Mass Downtown Initiative. Second one is the Regional Pilot Project Grant Program. And third is Complete Streets. We've already done the Complete Streets program, so you take that one off the list. But the Complete Streets program has construction money. So while they're recommending the prioritization plan, we've already done that. And we've already applied for sidewalks on Mason Road. So the town is very actively pursuing grants under that program. But above, so the strategy for the MDI, the Mass Downtown Initiative, would be to demonstrate the need for technical assistance services to assist with downtown revitalization efforts. I think we can easily demonstrate the need. As part of the gateway, we don't really have the kind of expertise we would need to work on that program. And then the Regional Pilot Project Grant Program, we need 2 towns, so we need to work with Webster as part of an application, so we need their interest and support. The strategy there is to position the program for long-term sustainability. Given funding through this program is not imminently available. So unfortunately, we might choose that as a program, but it's not active at the moment. So I think we need to wait for when that might become available. So it says 2022 funding cycle has not been announced. The 2021 cycle opened in January and closed in February. So we don't know what the timeline is for that program.
Okay.
So again, the downtown initiative, I think, would be the way to go. So there I think the strategy would be to hire a consultant to do a gateway plan for both of our gateways. The advantage of that is, with the Stevens Mill project coming in sort of at the Webster Gateway,
Right.
be a nice tie-in to improve that gateway appeal for people coming in to complement the Stevens Mill utilization. And so, as you know, that program is signage, wayfinding signs, branding of Dudley, welcome to Dudley, and then at the entrance you have, you get help in defining, what the primary, attractions are of Dudley, sort of to give Dudley a cachet and encourage visitors and certain kinds of developments that meet that niche. And then on the other end of the other gateway, sort of by the Dunkin' Donuts, I think it'd be more welcoming signage, coming in, with Dudley Hill, the historic district, and McNichols College, and some of the attractions that you find on that part of town.
Right.
The farmland, the farmers markets, maybe, that would be a second sort of gateway initiative for that part of town. So I'm not sure what your thinking is, whether this is of equal importance to the program we just talked about, in which case I think we're sort of at the downtown initiative program again,
Right.
to get assistance to implement the program. or if it's a secondary importance, then we spend most of our energy on the first program. So open it up.
Yeah, open up to any discussion.
So Bill, the Project One, so were they, Project One and Project Two, were those prioritized
By this committee,
by the committee?
yes.
Because I was thinking that the gateway was the first. I remember having a conversation about the fact that if the gateway's not right, then, do we even get people in to realize that there's vacancies or vacant storefronts or whatever? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess if we voted that Project One was first priority and Project Two second priority, then fine. I just wanted some clarification for that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I was originally thinking, is that if we had, both ends of the gateway were clear and concise and what we have to offer, then some of the other stuff would disappear, right? But
Right.
Good point.
yeah, I'm not sure, why this would be Project Two. I would think this would be one, but
Well,
again,
I
I
mean,
don't mean to.
You can change
move
it if,
back, but-
there's no.
And they can coexist too, correct? I
They
mean, there's
can,
no-
sure.
Right, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say they're both of equal importance.
Yeah.
Importance.
Yeah.
Right.
No, because I agree with that statement, and I'm trying to remember when we did vote as well.
Yeah.
I think that was that the Zoom call when we had the consultants on as well? and they
No,
weren't here?
I think we did it
Oh, we were
here.
here, okay.
I think we actually took votes and,
Okay.
ranked them, and those were the
That's
top
right.
two.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right, I do remember that. I agree with Mark's statement. I think that, that's one of the things that I think we've all, I've been in town for going on 13 years, and it's just, you don't know you're coming into Dudley. So I think as Mark stated, that, yeah, but if, like, when you come in, people know you're in Dudley and there's no other things are there, maybe that would attract folks to the storefronts. But if it can coexist, I think we put them right next to each other and we see if we can do both.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, it kind of, at least for this particular one, Bill, it does kind of process of elimination. I mean, at least we don't have to really choose now, do we?
No.
Okay.
I think choice has been made for us. If that
All right.
other second program should develop a new funding cycle, then we could revisit it and say, well, does that program make sense for us? But at the moment, since it's dormant,
Right.
there's no point in really putting much time into it.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to add?
I think what I would do is maybe talk to Carrie.
Okay.
I think she's, tuned into this whole process, and seek her advice in terms of what's,
Okay.
what our strategy would be for applying. And while John and Mark sort of, reach out to the Chamber and the Business Alliance for their interest, I can contact Carrie to sort of talk about an application process. Maybe RBC could help us with applications, for example.
Okay.
Or maybe there's a way to get some funding to hire somebody to do the applications.
Okay. Yeah, Carrie's been a great help throughout
Yeah.
this whole entire process, so
Right.
I can reach out to her. That's no
Okay,
problem.
good. Why don't you make the call then, Todd?
Okay.
So we don't duplicate.
All right, I will. I
And
will
then,
call.
if you want to get on a Zoom call or something with me, we can do that too.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, I will reach out to her by the end of the week. All right. So unless anybody else has anything else to add regarding the LRRP plan, we can move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the Nichols College video project. How are we doing on that?
I watched them.
You did? Okay.
Anybody else?
I did.
You did, good. Mark, you've obviously seen them.
I still don't have access yet.
Okay, they're on, because of that access issue, I put
Okay.
them up on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
are they?
I'll check them out.
So,
Okay.
if you go to the town website and, the cable
Yeah.
YouTube channel, the best way to find them is to sort them by date, and they were put up on November 16th. So if you zoom, past
Mhm.
all the more recent ones until you come to that date, they're all there. There are 11 out of the 12 actually loaded up. One of them, for some reason, must have been a corrupt file.
Good.
So, and they're about from 3 to 5 minutes long generally. And I don't know, Jason, you want to,
They're interesting,
yeah.
to say the least. Not
But some
exactly-
stood out, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Not
I mean, there's
exactly
like-
the quality that I would have expected.
Yeah. There's kind of a clear, superior video, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of them are, you can see the collaboration that there was, and I think obviously the professor allowed that, but, there's a lot of similar takes, and that makes sense, but especially when you go in to talk to the town administrator, right?
Mhm.
You don't need 5 people or 6 people or 10 people
Mhm.
talking to them, asking the same questions,
Right.
so.
The ones that I didn't care for were the ones that just mounted a camera on the dashboard of their car.
Yeah.
And sort of drove through
around
town.
Right.
That did take a lot of
Yeah, they likely
a lot of
failed
effort.
that.
But there were others who actually did some interviews,
Yeah.
and had
Yeah,
some nice shots of the town and that
Yeah.
kind of thing, so.
yeah.
So Mark, where do we go? So if other folks watch them, would you like to sort of,
I think we need to
Have
take a vote
everybody-
on which one represents, our town the best, or, if somebody, didn't know Dudley and were to look at this video, they would kind of get a really decent snapshot about, we're about big business, we're about small business, we're about farmland, we're about, and, just kind of, I think it needs to be short and sweet, so these are just some things that when you're looking at them and like I said, you don't even need to have this information when you're looking at them. You're gonna clearly, in my opinion, clearly see that, yeah, this one makes the most amount of sense. And then what I envisioned is that we would, put it on our website, we would post it on Facebook, we can do a link to YouTube and whatever. And then I think that it should be a series. Professor Russo was kind enough he's running these courses continuously. So some of the videos focused on, farming, and some of them focused on certain things. And so I think we could have, it doesn't have to be maybe one a year or one every 6 months or something, that we can just continue to update and have a little bit of a library. So if someone is looking to make an investment in a farm here, they would say, hey, Dudley's the right choice. They could go on and, oh yeah, it's farm that I'm looking for, a big business that I'm looking for, a small business, and incentives and things like that. And they could click on the whatever video they want to watch and see it. Again, I agree, it's not, it's not the top quality video, but, I'm sure that we could probably refine some of that too, if we want. We certainly want, our best step forward, because, if it's a Ramco or an IPG or not IPG, but a Gentex or someone like that looking to come into town, are they gonna wanna see a video like this? I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you take it for what it is, it's sort of youthful energy. Nichols College, which is a great asset for the community, and it's promoting how they feel about going to college here in Dudley and what they like about the town.
Yeah.
So you're right, it's not a slick promotional video that an IPG or, some high-tech company is going to be convinced to come to Dudley because of it.
Yeah.
But I think it shows that, people like Dudley because it's got great
Right.
qualities. And
Right.
so that's what comes through in the videos, not the, the slick
you're
professional
right.
marketing of the town.
You're right. And the resourcefulness of the town, saying, hey, let's utilize our funds, proportionately, and we're supporting college as well as, utilizing the products that they, provide. So, and that's well said, Bill.
So I'll make a suggestion that, because we've been talking about this for a while, but seeing that now it's actually, as Bill, you had mentioned, It's up on YouTube, and we can access the videos.
Mhm.
Can we all commit, anybody who hasn't seen it already, myself included, to
Two-week
over the...
timeline or something?
Yeah, just let's say
Mhm.
if over the next week or so, that
Right.
we can...
I was gonna say the same thing. Before, so we can get this done before the next meeting. right?
Yeah, so we
try
can
to-
just, and then
Right.
shoot, maybe
One of them
shoot
polls up
everybody an
again.
email
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
be like, hey,
What's your favorite
listen,
one?
yeah.
I can
Or
do it.
utilizing,
You want me to do a doodle poll on that?
Yeah.
Sure, we
Okay.
could
Oh,
do
That's
that,
great, yeah.
Okay.
just to get this,
No, so do we, are we committing to just one video?
Or maybe
Or are we able to
select
go back?
3 or
and-
something
are
or
we
whatever,
able to go
right?
back and take bits and pieces from each video and have them edit it? Or are we
That's
passing?
what I was hoping for,
Yeah.
but I see Mark shaking
Correct.
his
It's
head, so.
possible, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure, Professor Russo would probably be the one to do that. He probably wouldn't, maybe he'll kick it back to the students, but I think that class has evolved already, but,
Mhm.
yeah, it's possible that we could probably do that. If that's what the group wants, we can certainly ask. So, yeah, if you want to take a poll and say, maybe pick the top 3,
Mhm.
yeah.
and then, maybe you can add some commentary that says, if we could take video 1 and, first part and middle of video 3, and then the end part of video 2,
Right.
and put those together, then I can at least have a clear direction and go back to Professor with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay,
Sounds like a great idea.
Yep.
so I'll give you a week or so
Yeah.
to look at them.
Okay,
If you can't find them, let me know.
Yeah, I'll take a look
I'll
tonight.
direct you to them.
Yeah.
perfect.
And,
Is there a link, Bill?
no, they're all listed separately.
Yeah, so you sent an email. You want to just maybe resend that to the whole group?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so
think
as I
that's
mentioned,
fine.
November 16th is when they were loaded, so if you can sort them by date,
It's
you just
easier.
scroll down to that date, and then
Yeah.
they'll all be there.
Okay.
They all have sort of the student's last name, first name, and then some code, some numbers and whatnot, so you can recognize them fairly easily. They're not
Right.
intuitive, so,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
they're there.
Sounds great. All right, moving on, town planner update.
Okay, so the Stevens Mill,
Yep,
as we've been following that for a couple of years now. That's still in the special permit public hearing stage. It's taking longer than I would have thought because the plans are evolving based on the feedback that the team is getting at the public hearing. So the main issue was, as you would have expected, traffic. And their initial plan showed all the traffic exiting out onto Ardlock Place, which is sort of where that small Dunkin' Donut shop is. That's
Dippin'
Ardlock
Donuts, yeah.
Place, and then
Mhm.
they come out onto Main Street. And then, so the concern is what impact that would have. So the discussion at the first hearing was, could you provide an alternate access on Mill Street? Because a lot of the traffic will want to go sort of north out to 395 that way, up to Worcester or 495 for work. So that would alleviate a lot of the traffic on Ardlock and the intersection with Dippin' Donuts.
Mhm.
And so the concern is, the impact on Main Street and Village Street where intersection is. So we've been trying to negotiate a lot of that, and that they've come up with a way to get access onto Mill Street. So that plan has to come back to the planning board for review and comment. We still need to have the civil engineer review the site plan for drainage, parking layout, that kind of thing. But there's no strong opposition to the development. It's a matter of just working out the details so that it works well and doesn't create, safety hazards. We're trying to promote pedestrian access, so we want to do sidewalks in the area so that they can get out to, the Walgreens, to the donut shops, and to the other shops in the area. Maybe walk to the library, to town hall. So we think there'll be a lot of pedestrian activity associated. with this mill because of its location, right, sort of in the heart of the town's
Mhm.
business area.
Right.
So we want to, coordinate that. So, we have another hearing scheduled for, the 26th of this month, which is a week from today. I'm assuming there'll be another continuation, at least one more hearing after that, which would take it into February. And then we'll see where we're at that point. Whether the planning board feels like it's ready to vote, or if they're looking for more information or more changes, that remains to be seen.
Okay.
But it's a very good project. It's 161 units. There'll be a commercial component, which I think is going to be a meeting space for community venues. So they make that available for, public meetings, for private parties, weddings and that
Mhm.
kind of thing. They've talked about doing a sort of a pub-style restaurant,
Right.
but they're not moving forward with that yet. That may be something in the future that would come in, depending on if they get interest from somebody who wants to do that kind of a facility in town.
Mhm.
So that's sort of being put on the back burner for now. It won't be part of this application, but could be amended later,
Mhm.
a year or two from now. If somebody says, hey, this would be a great location
Right.
Sure.
for a brew pub kind of thing, then that would come back to the planning board for additional analysis.
Okay.
So we have that. The Chase Mill marijuana retail store
Mhm.
is, the improvements are going on there. I'm expecting that to open up in the spring sometime. So that's moving along. John, you have a project on Hall Road,
We're on next week's agenda, yep, for our cultivation site.
right?
Yep.
We have a cultivation site on
Yep.
Fish Road,
Yep.
with John is one of the principal parties behind that. That's a Tier 7, I believe, cultivation,
Region,
which
yeah.
allows 60,000 square feet of canopy or marijuana growing area. So we're going to open the hearing for that the same night, the 26th. So that's another important economic development project.
Mhm.
You have a host community agreement with
The town, yep.
the town for
Yep.
impact fees and that kind of thing, so
Right.
and it will create jobs.
Right.
Those facilities do require a lot of employment. And it's sort of in this, outlying part of town. So we don't think they'll have a lot of impacts on the neighborhood, and you've got a
Right.
plan to route
Alleviate all the
traffic.
traffic, right, it's
Yeah,
coming
so-
down another road, piece of property we own, right?
Right, so that's
So,
a nice,
right.
nice feature of that plan. And you
Hopefully
want-
February we'll be in for Hall Road.
Okay.
Maybe March, we'll see.
And that's another marijuana
Retail site, yep.
shop, yep.
Yep.
So-
Remind me where Hall Road?
Right across from the courthouse and Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Yep. So,
So those are the active ones that I know about. The new restaurant coming in at the Rite Aid Plaza. You probably know as much about that as I do, but
Whiskey Rocks, I think.
Whiskey
is-
Rocks, right, yeah.
Mhm.
So that's going forward.
Yep.
In Parker Shop.
Yeah,
Park- yeah, yeah,
Parking
yeah.
shop, right.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that opened this week.
Friday, yeah, I think it opened Friday.
Oh, did it open already?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Friday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one got killed from the. yeah.
The bull ride, whatever, yeah.
Axe throwing.
Blackstone, yeah, that's
Well, I
true,
was
yeah.
thinking back, you were
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think they were
mechanical
supposed
bull
to.
when it First vote,
No, I was standing there
Like
like this,
this.
no one hit me.
Pretty safe, right where they aim, probably the best spot to be, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, be very interesting. Hopefully it's a success.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if.
So that's the same owners as Stave and Still.
Correct.
Stayed
Yep.
still, that's
Yeah,
what I
Jessica.
heard. That's great, you know?
And then the wine, so just a little update on some business, the wine bar is not gonna open.
Right.
The one in Webster.
Webster, correct.
Yeah. I guess there was the town provided a permit to have someone do some digging in the back, you may know more about it, John.
Mm.
And they did the digging, and for some reason, they encroached on another tenant down below, in the bottom part of the building, 7 Hills.
Oh.
And apparently, there was some lawsuit, and the owner had to pay $16,000 or something to clear the lawsuit, and the town didn't back him up. So, things are changing a little bit in Webster, where Doug Wilson had left, who was very, very supportive of businesses, and now they've got kind of an interim administrator. I guess they are looking for somebody else, but, so yeah, the little bit disenchantment. That building right on the corner there did sell, the one that the Stave and Still is in. And so, there was gonna be a little bit of a change there. I know Be Kind is being forced to move out. So,
It's too bad. It seems like every time I drove by for the wine and pizza place or whatever it is, it
Yeah.
seemed like they put a lot of money.
Oh,
or
tons of
investment.
money.
Yeah. It's
brick
too
oven
bad.
pizza
It's-
ovens, you know, there's probably at least 4 or 5 mini splits for heat and AC.
Right.
I mean, huge infrastructure and a lot of assets put in there, but, so he's selling the building for $500,000.
So the $16,000 just put him over the edge and he doesn't want to continue?
Said he, I mean,
Left a
there
bad
may
taste in
be
his
more
mouth
to
too, right,
that,
with the
but,
town, I would be assured.
yeah, I just don't think he wants to get in bed with a town that's not willing to back him up.
Yeah. Maybe he'll move here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the building was perfect for what he was doing, I think, and, you know, the whole infrastructure build that was going on down there with Monty's and Stave and Still and that, and Rose Room and all, and Andy's now.
Mhm.
Hmm. And that $500,000 price tag is including all the renovations and all the construction that they did for the new
Yeah.
restaurant.
As long as you wanted a brick oven.
Yeah.
Hey, I love
And is
pizza.
are there 2 existing tenants in that building also? Or
There what?
2 existing tenants in that building also, or no?
I don't
church,
know.
or
I
is that
know
a separate
there's
building?
someone downstairs. The one on the right looked like it was being rehabbed, but I don't know if he was doing that or not.
Right.
I know there are some tenants upstairs, and that was the other thing. Apparently, he put a tenant upstairs, but permitting wasn't done properly, and no elevator, and no sprinkler system, and
Yeah.
so you gotta be careful what you're buying into there, because you could inherit all of those.
Costs. Interesting. All right.
Tad, 2 other things we talked about. We took votes on officers at the last meeting, but we didn't elect a treasurer. And I'm thinking, we really don't need a treasurer.
Yeah.
You know, we
I
don't have a
would agree.
budget. You know, we're not,
If we don't have a checkbook and
Right.
no budget,
right, there's no budget for the
I'd have to
committee.
agree with you.
So I would suggest we just remove that title from the
Okay.
from the
But
letterhead.
we appreciate your past work, Todd.
Oh, thank you, thank you, yeah, it was just, you know, you work at a bank, everybody just
Right.
assumes that you're gonna be the treasurer,
Right.
you know? They assume you can balance your own checkbook.
Chairman's good. It's a good title for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anyways,
And the
do we
other-
have to vote to remove that, or can we just, I mean,
I'm just gonna take it off.
all right, take it
Let's-
off, there we
yeah.
go, okay.
And the other thought was meeting dates.
Meeting dates, correct,
We've had some confusion about that.
right.
PJ, I don't know whether you want to mention something about your change.
Yeah, I'm no longer with Nichols College, so, and I don't know, quite honestly, how long I'll be in Dudley, but I'm willing to stay here until I know.
Oh.
Or my term ends in June, so,
Oh.
I mean, so it opens up Tuesday mornings again.
Right.
So-
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean.
So do you want to go back to Tuesday mornings, or do you prefer another?
The only thing for me is twice a month, I have a loan committee at 9:30, and if I have to physically be there, a lot of times I don't, I would have to miss it because I couldn't get from Millbury to here in time
That's on Tuesdays, Todd?
on Tuesdays.
This is the best attended meeting that I've seen in a long time, so I
Yeah.
think Wednesday works well for us.
Wednesday's great for me.
Yeah,
Great.
Wednesday's
Okay.
fine, yeah.
Perfect with me.
Yeah.
10:30. I mean, that sounds like a great.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can check with Brian.
Awesome.
Um,
That would work.
Yeah.
I think Brian said later in the day.
Yeah, Brian was not available on
Yeah.
Wednesday mornings, the last
Yeah.
email I saw.
He's not available Wednesday morning.
Hmm.
How does the afternoon work for folks?
Yeah, I mean, I can.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
but-
Let me talk to Brian and see
Okay.
if he can free
Fine.
up something from his schedule to
Right.
make it.
Okay.
And then we can maybe shoot out a quick email and just say, hey,
Yeah.
listen, with the time on a Wednesday, and see if everybody's, I agree, mornings are a little bit better.
Okay.
Just,
And Joanne said that she's available anytime, and I thought she was coming today, but, you know, she didn't
Okay.
show up, so
all right,
I'm assuming it's not a problem with her.
all right. Anything else regarding updates from your side, Bill?
Nope.
All right, any new business, open discussion? I know Mark had just brought up some, the things going on down the street a little bit. Anybody else? No?
Any update on Don?
No, I haven't talked to him in a while. I should see how he's doing.
Yeah, the past
Yeah.
planner,
Right.
Oh,
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson, right.
Right.
All right, then, if there's nothing else, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. The meeting for the Dudley Economic Development Committee ended at 11:26. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.